Hello y'all, it's Vanilla Breeze here, and I'm finally here with my first ever build guide video. It's a leveling guide for the Necro. I've been talking about putting out build guides for years. I've been playing Diablo for years, both 4, 3, all the way back to 2, since I was a kid. And I'm finally putting out some videos. So this is going to be a leveling guide, and I'm planning on putting out kind of a mid-tier guide as well as an end-game guide, hopefully. Kind of the progression for the Necro as they go through the game. Hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think. Deuces. I wanted to add that this build is not final. Lots of changes could be made to it, even this leveling part, and changes are going to be made as I move into the mid and the end game guides as well. So things can be changed, so feel free to, if you see something better, change that part of it.
First we'll go over the skills. So start with just 2 into enhanced bone and splinters, and then 1 into enhanced bone splinters, just to get this next tree, where you're going to max out bone spear right away, all 5, and you can do 1 and then enhanced, and then I do paranormal for the crit chance, and more shards pop off if it critically strikes. Yep. This stuff can wait for a little while, because once you put these points in here, you'll be able to get some points down. Well, you might actually be putting some points in there, but I think I waited because I think I put points in this damage to elites right away, so that you can kill elites faster. Generating essence, consuming corpse, these ones, you can put points into these ones next to get your bar down here for your next skill, Decrepify. And you're going to have Enhanced Decrepify and Abhorrent Decrepify to reduce cooldowns. This is very nice. You're also going to put 3 points in Amplify damage as soon as possible to increase damage from cursed enemies. And you're going to be popping this off on enemies all the time. Some more passives that you can put points into. I think I waited on those because I think you get far enough down if you use some of these more damage ones to get down here, where you could put 3 here to start building your Fortify right away. If you're a hardcore character, this would be important. I would do this right away and this one right away. Increase your survivability with the barrier and Fortify right away. Lucky hit chance would be good too. But then you're going to put 3 Insuration for some crit strike chance. Compound Fracture and Evulsion. Boost up your bone abilities. And then whenever your ultimate becomes available, Bone Storm, you're going to max that one out. You're going to put in Prime Bone Storm and Supreme Bone Storm. And then you're going to do Ossified Essence. As soon as that becomes available, you're going to want to put a point in there. Don't, fill up these other ones first. Hit that one. And then you're going to... Finality is good. Every time you pop this one off, you'll do some increased damage, especially when you're fighting bosses. That's when you're going to be popping your ultimate the most. That's when it's going to matter the most, I guess. And that's going to give you about 15 increased damage. Yeah, these passives here, eventually, and then that's how you're gonna keep filling it out. Grab your skills as fast as possible and get all these skills. These are the last 3 that I did to increase some essence, increase a little bit more damage. This is where I'm putting them. The last 6 points are going in Standalone and Memento Mori. You can see I have my summons right now, but they've started getting weaker and weaker. I haven't put any points to make them strong. And they're starting to die off a lot. Plus, it's a huge damage boost that we're going to get once we get rid of our summons. So the last 6 points I think are going to go into these 3, and once I hit 60 I'm going to be getting rid of all my summons. So that's the skills. My summons, I do Skeletal Defender, take 99% reduced damage so they never die, which is very nice. I do Cold Mages, and they give me a little bit of Essence regeneration, so that's nice. And then Blood Golem with the healing effect, and when you cast it, it gives you a big juicy heal, so keeps you alive a little bit. For items, I don't have, I've just been collecting whatever legendary items I can find that are good. I've been focusing on getting intelligence and max life on them, and then whatever other stats. And the legendary aspects that I have right now are just random. They're whatever comes on the gear. I haven't been changing any of them, and that's pretty much how I've leveled up, and I still smash everything. No legendary stuff geared towards my build at all. It's really just the skills and then the intelligence and the max life on almost all the gear. You know, you get some armor in here every once in a while, some crit chance. Pop on some movement speed on my boots always. I make sure that has always movement speed, and I've actually been making sure, since I'm not on hardcore, that this has movement speed on it always too. So I can move around a little bit faster. But yeah, that's what I've been running for my gear, is just intelligence and health, keeping me up with my damage basically. But some aspects that you would want to focus on for your defensive, you are going to want might, aspect of might, because you're using your basic pretty often. You're going to get that 20% damage reduction, especially for hardcore. That's going to be really nice. And I play a lot of hardcore, which is why I keep referencing hardcore. And then the other defensive is Shielding Storm, right here. When Bone Storm deals damage, you're going to gain a barrier. I think that one's going to be really nice, give you a big barrier when you got your Bone Storm active, and one of the goals of this is to have your Bone Storm active as much as possible, especially during boss battles. For offensive, you're going to be using Splintering, which is the most important one, I think, and I don't have it yet. Let's get down there and get it. Splintering aspect. Bone Spear's primary attack makes enemies hit beyond the first vulnerable for 3 seconds, so everybody that's hit gets vulnerable from it. Bone Shards deal 30% bonus damage to vulnerable enemies and pierce them. So that's super nice. It's going to just be able to... Everybody's going to be able to get hit by every single Bone Spear, basically. So that's the most important one, and I don't even have it yet. Accelerating, right here. Critical strikes with core increase attack speed. So that one's going to be good, especially because I'm focusing on crit strike chance and crits. Serration. Aspect of Serration, maybe? Yep, right here. Aspect of Serration. The Ossified Essence key passive also increased the critical damage of your bone skills. So that one focuses on crit strike chance, I believe, getting increased by the amount of essence you have, and this one increases crit strike damage as well. So that one's really nice to pair with it. Edge Master, yeah, because you're focusing on having... high essence and regenerating your essence. Edge Master is very nice. Increased damage based on your available primary resource. Once this gets leveled up to 25%, it gets to be a little decent little buff. And Osseous Gale. Bone Storm consumes corpses to increase its duration. Very nice to keep Bone Storm up all the time. And then rapid basic skills gain increased attack speed. So that one's nice, so that we're not wasting time casting basic abilities. Ting, 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 and then go back to your core. Resource. 2 basic resources that I have found to be very nice for this build specifically. Wait, where am I looking? Oh no, one that I know of that works pretty nicely. Umbral works all right. You're especially when you're putting your curse on people, you're slowing all them, so that restores a lot of your resource then, or that will restore a lot of your resource then. But I'm pretty sure you immobilize with your bones every once in a while, or stun with your bones every once in a while, so that probably helps with that too. But aspect of torment, critical strikes of bone increase essence regeneration by 95%, and that goes way higher, almost up to 200% up there. So that's really juicy, and that one's gonna really help with keeping your mana up. And then utility, blood getters aspect right here. Your skeletal priest empowers you because you're going to be casting your skeletons and shit. You're going to want your skeletal priest up so that they can do more damage, and then this will empower you and heal you and just give you an overall big buff. So you're going to want that. And then cold bringers. This one's very nice. If you have, I use the cold mages for the freezing effect, just for the survivability, especially if you're going to be playing hardcore, you're going to want that. And having blizzards is very nice because that just puts cold out there and just slows the entire map down so that you're very safe. Okay, so those are, you know, the aspects I would focus on for sure. Your heraldic spells. This is what I've been using, and it works really well. Cosmic Anomaly. I really like this one. This is what I use on both my builds so far. It'll just sit there and shoot at people. It'll just sit there and shoot at people as a passive, and then active, it'll basically dive bomb them and explode for huge damage. I use the Nebulous Extract specifically for the 10% reduced damage that they take. I use I want this build to be able to be used on hardcore, so this is what I would use if I was playing hardcore. If I wasn't playing hardcore, I'd probably go cold. Maybe even lightning. But since I'm thinking hardcore, I'm thinking this, even though I'm not actually, this character is not on hardcore. And then what I'm using is, actually I don't even want to show off that one. The three that I would recommend would be Tranquil Stone, so that basically you get unstoppable all the time if you want to, because your ability pops off every 5 seconds. And this lasts for 5 seconds. So you'll basically have unstoppable all the time. Shifting power increases movement speed by 70% for 5 seconds. So basically all the time then, if you want it to be. And then the last one is Gleaming Conduit. Right here, increases the size, so that explosion that this does will be bigger. And that's very nice. Kills everybody, and you don't miss people basically. So that one would be the first one that I would choose. I haven't gotten it yet. The other one that I would choose, where did it go? Or Reactive Ooze. Right here, Reactive Ooze. Grants maximum resource regeneration. So this one just give you some more resource regeneration if that's what you need. Elixirs. Let's just go to the elixir person. Where are we at here? Where are you at? Right here. So elixirs, advantage is a good one. Attack speed and lucky hit. Especially with this build, you like lucky hit. And that attack speed is really nice. Precision. For the crit strike chance and crit strike damage. If you're focusing on damage, that one's a good one. Resourcefulness. Resource cost reduction and maximum resource. If you're having resource problems, this one could be a good one for you. This one will help you out with that. And then Fortitude, if you just want some extra life, 20% extra life would be helpful. Keep you a little bit more tanky, but with this build, I wouldn't recommend this life bonus. It's just not going to be enough, especially right now, early in the early game. And then right now for incense, I would go either core stat, or if you really need armor, like I got 600 armor, so I'm not worried about it. But if you really need armor, you can get this 300 armor. But for me, I would just use the intelligence here. I'm just gonna go as fast as possible. So you can see the life isn't, it's decent, especially for what level I am. The armors are pretty good. The resistances are pretty well capped out. Crit strike chance is pretty low. Yeah, but you'll see. We're still only level 54, so we got some ways to go. You can see it burns through stuff pretty well. Still some minor resource problems, but that buff up for, oh, and mind you, all those aspects that I was talking about, I don't have those on yet. That would increase my damage and my survivability, my resource probably, recovery, a lot. Tears down mobs. Alright, open fire and back here. I would say that the biggest difficulty with this build while leveling is sometimes the mana regen early is pretty tough to deal with just because you don't have the right aspects with it. And every once in a while the damage of the bone spear seems to fall off a little bit, and then you get a new weapon and then you're good. So probably if I didn't go long stint without finding a new weapon, I would have been fine. But a lot of that is negated, like the damage decrease or the damage fall off at times, which you're not seeing much of that right now. It's pretty killer. Is negated with this heraldic spell though. The heraldic spell, I'm gonna skip that event just for sake of time, but I never skip events for leveling purposes. Drop in here. No, I can't help him, busy.